Hello and welcome everybody. My name's Rose Smith from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com. Thanks for joining me today for the lovely Libra June horoscope. Okay, so we're having a quieter month in June. Thankfully, after everything that's happened in May, a lot has happened in May. And although we do have Mercury retrograde for the first few days of the month. So if you're in Australia, it's to the 4th of June, but if you're in the rest of the world, it's to the 3rd of June. And there's a few days, maybe 5 to 7 days in what's called shadow period after that, when there's still a little bit of Mercury retrograde influence. So basically for you, lovely Libra, Mercury is retrograde in your 8th house, which is all about shared resources and investments, real estate, maybe wills, inheritances, loans, that sort of thing. So it's a resource you share with somebody else, basically. It's also the house of intimacy. So do watch that you don't make things worse, perhaps, in intimate matters. You know, spell everything out very clearly, because there could be some miscommunications. And with your investments and shared resources, it's always good to get everything in writing. Anything important, get an email to confirm. Absolutely do that. Yeah, so there could be delays, there could be miscommunications, there could be issues with technology, because Mercury loves to play around with your devices. So back anything important, back it up. Mercury is also a bit of a trickster, and so when Mercury is retrograde, you could get the other side of it, which is scam calls. Like, find an increase in scam calls, so be super careful about who you actually speak to on the phone, and also any emails. Clicking links on emails is not a good idea. Okay, I'll remind myself that. Okay. And we also have Saturn in Aquarius retrograde. So this is a time for putting boundaries and structures around something. And for you, it's in your 5th house until the 22nd of October. So maybe you have to put boundaries with children. The 5th house is the house of children. Or perhaps your inner child. Is your inner child eating too much, especially in Australia as we're going into winter? You might be sort of craving lots of sweet foods, because Librans do tend to love desserts and cakes and cookies and things like that, biscuits. Just realised in America, biscuits means a totally different thing. I'm not talking about those biscuits that you fry up for breakfast. I'm talking about cookies. Yeah, this is the issue when you're across multiple countries, thinking, oh no, that doesn't mean that there, that means, yeah. You know what I mean. Sweet things. So watch for that. We also have Neptune in Pisces, and Neptune in Pisces can bring very fuzzy thinking and, vagueness, not feeling quite grounded. Yeah, it might be hard to be a little bit practical, but it brings a spiritual vibe, okay? And Neptune is in your 6th house of everyday work, so just be a little bit cautious with that. Its 6th house is also about health, and what you might find is, and we are going into winter, so viruses, the flu apparently is taking off here in Australia at the moment. COVID is still going. There's over 8,000 dead in Australia now, which I know to other countries doesn't sound a lot, but it's a lot for us. And so viruses, please be careful when I'm going to vote today. I'm going to wear a mask. If there's people there, I'll have a mask on. Fair dinkum. Okay, so, you can't be too cautious as far as your health goes. It's super important, especially as you get older. When people are younger, they don't, we don't tend to think about health that much. But once you get post 50, maybe start seeing a few things you wish that you didn't see, perhaps. And people start popping off the perch, so to speak. Okay, now, just briefly, I like to draw 2 cards as theme cards for the month for you. I'll have a look at your horoscope in depth. And if you are new, subscribe and be alive and hit that notification bell right now. Okay, let's go to the board and we'll have a look at these cards, what the cards think first. I've already pre-shuffled them up a fair bit actually for Libra. Let's go with this one on top. Closing my eyes, what do I see for today? For the month of June. Let me just put my focus down the road a little bit here. Okay, I got a picture. Oh, yes. So winter, of course it's cold, but I see a lot of wood, timber burning, and I suspect it's going to be a colder than usual winter in some places, particularly Queensland here. We don't tend to have a cold winter. It tends to be more stable. You'll see today that I'm very rugged up today and we're not even in winter yet, but I suspect a colder than usual winter. So maybe start planning for it and, you know, get some supplies and things like that. King of Cups is here, and this is all about your emotions, and the King of Cups is a masculine energy that is in control of his emotions. There's also a fair degree of intuition here going on as well. He's in touch with his subconscious. This is the ocean in the background, seated on a shell with a shell at the back. And you'll see here that there's gold around his throat. So he has some very valuable information his communication skills are excellent, and a crown on his head. So if you don't know anyone like this, it's a good idea to try and find it in yourself. Reach down into yourself and try and find contact or connection with some ancestors, because there will be ancestors that have this energy. It tends to be somebody older, post 50, and it's somebody who is master of their emotions. They are not ruled by their emotions, okay? So even though you may well feel emotional about something, it doesn't rule you, okay? It's a great card. All right, let's look at the second half of the month for lovely Libra. And closing my eyes now, what do I see? A gold chain with a locket. So the throat, again, about speaking out, getting your message out into the world, making a very important statement. Okay. The Chariot, this is definitely about moving forward, accomplishing in the world, not allowing anything to hold you back. The two cats here, reminiscent of the goddess Bast, is again about being in touch with intuition, but in a more feminine way perhaps. Take the bull by the horns and move ahead in life, because you can do it. The staff here is to do with royalty and being able to hold the staff and make decisions, get stuff done. Gold star on the third eye, high level of clairvoyance, okay, which is always a great thing. The Chariot, okay, fabulous. Move ahead in life. All right, so this is your month for June. I'm just going to put this here and here, and I'm going to make this bigger so that you can see the whole lot, and zoom. Okay, all right, here's your horoscope. A beautiful grand trine here happening between Mercury, Neptune and Pluto in your fourth house. So you might find that your home and family become more important. Pluto brings up very intense emotions sometimes. It can be like life, death, rebirth. The phoenix rises from the ashes. It's actually quite a good symbol if you're renovating at home, or if you're buying a new home, particularly if you've been flooded out or involved in the bushfires a couple of years ago. A lot of people still don't have their homes yet, but there might be something comes up about it in June, so that you can finally move forward after all of this flooding and these terrible bushfires that we had a couple of years ago. But that's a really good sign, and it's like Spirit's moving something for you to move ahead. So this is called a royal chart because most of the activity is on the western side of the chart. This is basically saying that you're reliant to some extent on your relationships with other people. Royals, of course, often do deals with other countries and things like that. And in the olden days, I'm talking about, not so much now. It's in many countries, it's more ceremonial now. But in the olden days, they would actually do a lot of work as far as some, foreign relations and things like that go. And your ruler Venus here starts the month in your 8th house of shared resources, oiling the wheels, smoothing things over, making relationships go smoothly, especially to do with real estate, loans, inheritances, that sort of thing. And then it goes into the 9th house, which is all about training, study, education, philosophy, broadening your mind, okay? All right, let's have a look at your horoscope. Mercury trines Pluto, 8th to the 12th, okay? So Mercury goes into the 9th here and then trines Pluto here. And this brings a lot of depth to your conversations. You could be discussing very private things and even secrets. And it could be to do with family members because it's here in the 4th house, or something to do with your home. It's like that superficialities don't appeal to you. You want to get right to the core of the issue, and perhaps you want to solve a problem or some sort of mystery. If you've lost something, particularly at home, it's slid down the back of the lounge or something underneath the cushions, you might find a lot of money down there too. But yes, it's a great time to solve some sort of hidden problem or some old problem that's been sort of lurking around. Finally, it comes to you what to do. The 14th of June sees a supermoon in Sagittarius in your 3rd house here. So this is sort of like a full moon on steroids, so to speak. And it makes your communications and interactions with other people very strong at the moment. You could be a bit emotional in your communications. That's okay. That can actually help establish a rapport with other people. Just bear in mind that events from the past could come back and subjective assessments and feelings which aren't based in the present may also influence you now. The 11th of June to the 4th of July, Mercury moves into your 9th house here. 4th of July. Yeah, that's right. It's a great time to plan a journey or take a trip to a distant land. You might have more connections with people from other countries at the moment. You might learn from someone from another culture or someone who has vastly different beliefs from you. There's likely to be a lot of philosophical discussions or discussions about spirituality as well. This is big picture thinking, okay, rather than the minutiae of the mundane things in your life. The 8th of June to the 24th of June, Jupiter conjuncts Mars, giving you a lot of physical energy and stamina. You probably feel fairly enthusiastic about things, and you go after challenges with gusto. You've got a very positive can-do attitude, and you can accomplish a lot. You may feel particularly, more energetic or even athletic, so just be a little bit cautious with your physical body because this is Mars. Mars sometimes can cause accidents or incidents, so it's important that you be present in your body and not thinking too much about the future. If you've got any sort of health problems, take it easy because you're likely to be feeling quite good, so you don't want to overdo it. Okay, you could have a lot of self-confidence at the moment, and you're quite positive and optimistic. Okay, do watch for impatience or irritability, however. 19th of June to the 22nd of July, the Sun moves into your 10th house here. This is fabulous for your career, your reputation, your role in the community and your contribution to the world. and you might do particularly well on social media during this time. You're likely to get recognition for your efforts and your accomplishments if you've done your homework. It's a fabulous time to ask for a promotion or ask people in positions of authority for help, because they'll probably help you out now. 21st of June to the 17th of July, Venus moves into your 9th house here, bringing some sort of attraction to foreign cultures and art, and the exotic and the unknown have more appeal to you now. It's a great time for a vacation, particularly if you can go somewhere you've never been before. You might be talking or communicating a lot about spiritual or philosophical interests with friends and loved ones. 28th of June sees a new moon in Cancer in your 10th house here. It brings new starts, new beginnings in your career, your life direction, your reputation and public image. Whatever you do tends to be more open and more public, so the public see more of you whether you want them to or not. So just bear that in mind, no oversharing on social media. 26th of May to the 30th of July, Neptune sextiles Mercury. This is fabulous because you're likely to be more sympathetic and understanding than usual, and you can reach a better rapport with people. Generally speaking, it's an excellent time to openly talk with anyone, even about difficult topics, okay, because you can break down barriers with other people. Now, your imagination is vivid. You're likely to see pictures like clairvoyantly. If you've got any sort of ability in that area, it'll be probably be stronger at this time. It's a great time for creative writing. It's also a great time for counselling and consultation. So yeah, that's pretty positive, really. You can become much clearer about your beliefs, your philosophies during this time. 27th of June to the 30th of June, Sun conjuncts Moon. Your focus is likely to be on your home and your personal life. It's a great time to be more quiet and reflective and to stay closer to home now, because it'll give you more strength. The 21st of June to the 19th of July sees a Jupiter squaring the Moon, and again it's a great time for friends and family. You're likely to be quite cheerful, outgoing and warm. People notice this about you, and if they've got problems, you're likely to help your friends out. You could even meet new friends at this time, but you probably you might not feel like getting out of the house, but yeah, do get out of the house, because it is a great time for meeting new people, especially attending clubs and organisation meetings. And just watch, again, I must say, just watch if you go out to these meetings, watch that you don't overindulge on sweets and cakes and all that kind of thing. It's not a great time for dieting in this period of time. Okay, so lucky Libra, that's your horoscope. So it looks pretty positive, actually. A lot of good things happening there. All right, have a fabulous month. I'm sure you will. And if you are new, please consider joining the channel, subscribe, and hit that notification bell right now. And leave a like or a comment, share on your socials. That would be fabulous, and I'll love you forever. Okay, well, I'll appreciate you forever. Thanks again, and I'll catch you all later. Bye for now. Thanks so much for watching. Please visit my website, absolutesoulsecrets.com, for all things spiritual. Have a lovely day.